Yeah, well, I think it might. Mike, what do you make of what you're hearing from the receiving group? Makai Lemon not doing too much so far. What's your concern level on a guy like him? And then you also hear names like Elijah Moore and Darius Cooper having good camps. So
Yeah.
we'll see what that looks like. I don't know if that's a good thing or it's what life after AJ Brown looks like, where you're looking at, kind of down the roster guys. What do you make of the receiver room so far? First camp without AJ.
Well, the lemon stuff concerns me mainly because I hate hearing hamstring. I just it bothers me to hear hamstring. When I heard it in OTAs, and by the way, I love the lemon pick. I thought that this is exactly what they needed. This is exactly who and the type of receiver that they needed in this group here. So I liked the lemon pick. I hate hearing hamstring in OTA. I don't like hearing what I'm hearing here. I got a buddy of mine who played in the NFL, and one of the reasons he never got on the field was his hamstrings. He just constantly had hamstring problems. Sometimes they go away, but they're guys that just linger, man. They just linger, those soft tissue things, and especially if you're getting them now. Oh, man. So that bothers me with him. Darius Cooper. I mean, is he a Mr. Lehigh candidate for the second straight year, or is he a legitimate piece to this offense? So I think that's something to keep an eye on. Elijah Moore is a guy who, was a second round pick, had some talent, has had some productive seasons, but he's been with some really bad organizations. Could this be finally the place that gets the most out of him? I know he was in Buffalo last year, a good organization, and didn't do much, but he was in
He
Cleveland
was in
before that.
Buffalo and Denver, I think, last year.
Very minimal, yeah, and with the Jets before that. So he's been with some bad quarterbacks and some bad offenses. So I do have some intrigue in the other guys, but more than the intrigue, I have concern about Lemon and the hamstring problems and how they could, we know if you're a rookie and you miss training camp reps, how far behind and what kind of impact could you have? Now, we did see Cooper DeJean. Now he's a defensive player. A couple of years ago, he missed training camp time and then came in about the fourth week of the season and made an impact right away. Could that be what happens here with Lemon, that he has to miss early in the season, get himself acclimated, and then makes an impact? Who knows? But I definitely am a little deterred by Lemon and the hamstring stuff.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Cooper because you and I have talked about that over the years. I don't know why everybody's so hyper focused on rookies in week one. Oh, he's got to be out there. Who cares? Did nobody not learn from Cooper? Yeah, he had a hamstring, as you pointed out. He missed the entire training camp. I remember he came back. They had joint practices that summer with the Patriots. That's when he came back. Really late, and Vic said, I'm not going to play him. He's not ready, and he didn't play him for a month.
I will say the one, and I agree with what you say. I think it's because Lemon's a first-round pick, and everybody anticipates that the first-round guy has to come in and make an impact right away. Cooper was a second-round pick, so probably wasn't the anticipation. For whatever reason, your draft number, that equals the anticipation. So Cooper being a second-round pick versus Lemon not only being a first-round pick, they traded and made a move to get him, and you've lost
AJ,
and you've lost AJ Brown. So you're now looking for the guy that is perceived to come in here and make up that production. Cooper comes in as a second-round pick, and you're not even sure what kind of role he was going to have right off the bat.
Yeah, that's something. But people are and he's not hurt, but people are just as worried about Eli Stowers because he hasn't done much early as the second round pick. So I do think I get your point and I agree with it. The AJ stuff is kind of silly. He is not replacing AJ Brown from a thematic standpoint in the offense. He is not an X receiver.
No, but the receptions and the targets got to go somewhere, and he would be the guy perceived to get I don't know about a majority of the targets, but I would say a boatload of them. He would get a pretty sizable amount of them. I guess Wicks would be in that mix as well as a guy who would get a lot of those.
Who's had a good camp, by the way. Wicks has had a good camp to the point where I called it here on the Birds 365 news desk, Mike. The wide receiver 2 for the Philadelphia Eagles is Dontavian Wicks. I called that for week 1.
By the way, by the way, Wicks is a guy that I think will be productive. I don't know if he's going to be like, I don't know what's productive to people out there. If he has 798 yards, is that a productive year? Like,
I would say so. I would say so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, perception is up to the people. If he has an 800-yard season, did they get what they were hoping from him? Now, Lemon, I don't know what people were thinking about. I think, are you looking at 950 yards? Is that too much?
Yeah. You know. Well, the franchise record is DeVonta, who was worlds ahead of Makai Lemon as a rookie. And he had like 912 or something. I think it was, and that was a franchise record.
He was the number 1 that year.
Yeah. And DeVonta's good. And it was good from day 1.
You're muted, Mike.
Mike, you're muted. Yeah, he was good from day 1.
I don't know. I'm hearing myself echo. I'm hearing all sorts of.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with StreamYard this week. I'm having this issue with basically.
Yeah, we had it yesterday on our show as well. Where
I don't know what the hell is going on.
One guy was echoing, and then it was switching around. But I do hear it a little bit, so I apologize if it's. I don't know what I've done wrong.
I don't think you've done anything wrong. You're good.
It might be a StreamYard thing. That being said, yeah, like. DeVonta was the number 1 guy here, and I think people are looking back to that year and wondering if he could handle being the number 1 guy here. Obviously, that was 4 or 5 years ago, so he's a much more developed and polished receiver than he was that year. But I do think he has better complementary pieces than he did in 2021 or 2022, whenever he was a rookie. So that should help him out there, and we'll see. How further along he is. But that will be a big question, is whether DeVonta Smith can handle being the main defended guy now. If you're looking at the defense and you're saying, who are we taking out? Before it would say there's 11 and there's 6. Now it's there's 6. So he's going to get a lot more attention.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy I don't worry about with this offense. And he's got a hamstring too, to your point, which is, but for some reason, I don't worry about it with DeVonta. It's funny. You say he's gotten more. I've never seen a young receiver in my personal career. I've never seen a more polished receiver coming into the NFL. I've never seen one. Now he's gotten better. He's gotten bigger. He's remade his body.
He doesn't look like Joel Embiid does, though.
Yeah, how about Joel getting motivated? No more excuses, by the way. We'll talk about that, but it's funny when you bring in a 40. How old is LeBron now? 41, 42?
41, 42, yeah.
You're bringing in a 41-year-old, and he's supposed to solve all the issues, and he just might, by the way, at 41. So that's interesting. But I've never seen a more polished product than DeVonta coming in. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and Xander can speak about it. Jody was on the show, but he was producing, and he heard me talk about it all the time. The first time I saw the guy, I'm like, all right, this guy's different. This guy can play. Now, you still had concerns about the size. I mean, he was tremendously undersized. He still is. But he's proven to be, in the ensuing years, he's proven to be tougher. I'm not sure as much as how much he's evolved. He's just gotten stronger and savvier, because he was already so polished coming in. That's why I thought the comparisons were unfair from Makai Lemon. I mean, it's rare. It is very rare when somebody comes in as polished as DeVonta Smith.
Yeah, but the one big difference is, in the era that we're in now, is it used to be the rookie receiver, 3 years, let them kind of, now these guys are coming in and they're making an impact right away. So people are anticipating that the first round pick comes right in and makes an impact right away. And if you're talking about, well, he might get 800 yards, people are looking at that like, we've set the expectations to such unrealistic levels. Like, if you're not Justin Jefferson from the jump, then, this guy wasn't as good as we had thought. So it's like, what kind of expectations should you set?
Well, and then you
for
have
them?
the style of offense, like Justin Jefferson, who I'm sure is, similarly polished as DeVonta. I just haven't covered him on a daily basis. He went to a situation where they had a high volume thrower. So everybody said Rager Jefferson. If he came here, he's not exploding like that from a numbers standpoint. He's still the same receiver. Like DeVonta's great, but if
Well, you
DeVonta
had
was
that
with
draft class with Judy and CeeDee Lamb and Jefferson, and obviously Rager was a bust. And then who else was in that class? Waddle? No, Waddle wasn't with that group. But there was like 4 or 5 guys that year. And it's like, is Lemon going to be the CeeDee Lamb where he's just, was he the Justin Jefferson? Is he the Jerry Judy? Oh, Ruggs was the other guy in that.
Yeah.
You don't want to go down Ruggs' path.
But
yeah.
I think he had, my point is, I think Jefferson had 1,400 yards as a rookie. Like he would, if the Eagles took him instead of Rager, he would not have had 1,400 yards in Philadelphia, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Same receiver, but he's not getting.
Like one of the things I look at too is, I talked about this a lot, is you get Jackson Smith and Jigba. You look at that offense, he's the only guy they got, but he didn't flourish until, he didn't come out right away like a gangbuster.
Exactly.
And have 1,500 yards, but you can still make an impact. So, and that's one of the offenses I look at Philadelphia. They had Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then most people don't know who the second and third options are in Seattle, and yet
Cooper Kupp,
successful.
Rashid Shaheed. I was talking about.
They're just guys though that know their roles and they fill their roles. And
they also are back. Like people can say, Cooper Kupp won. He didn't win, but he had the triple crown of receiving the one year, and the Rams beat the shit out of him. So he's not the same physically. But he knows how to play, Mike. I mean, he knows how to play. He's a great route runner. He's a tremendous blocker for a receiver, as all the Rams receivers are. So when people say the Seahawks didn't have it, like Cooper Kupp is a guy you still can trust on third down, for instance. I mean,
right, it's third down and 7. He's getting 8.
Yeah,
He knows how to play the game.
And Shaheed is a big time deep threat. So you have these roles. I mean, he stretches the field. He legitimately stretches the field. So they were a well put together offense.
Well, and that's the thing, is the pieces that the Eagles receiving room has capable of having. It's like the year they won the Super Bowl. You had Torrey Smith, didn't have great numbers, but he had a role. He stretched the field. He was the ultimate guy who could just take a fly, take the safety out of that box, which allowed Alshon to kind of work the middle of the field. They had the good complementary pieces to each other. Do the